Hi everybody, welcome back to Life on the Run. We're still here in this room. Why have I come on here today? Well, you might remember some time ago in one of my videos I told you that although I wanted to earn a living as an artist, that it just wasn't possible. It wasn't possible then, and it's not possible now. So I had to become a piano tuner. And how different it was for me to become a piano tuner then, in the late 70s, early 80s, compared to how you become something today. Nowadays, everybody goes to uni, gets academic qualifications. And for me to become a piano tuner was just the opposite to that. And I thought, you might not be interested in this. Quite possibly you're not. But I thought I'll just see, because it's a very strange way of becoming anything, the way I became a piano tuner. Because you'd have to go all the way back from when I ran an art gallery in Leeds, and after about 5 or 6 years of running the gallery, I went to art college. And during my last year of art college, it was a 3-year course, and I closed the gallery down. And during that time when I was at art college, I was also playing in a rock band. I was a lead singer and bass guitarist in a rock band. And Melvin, who played on keyboards, he had a warehouse in Leeds where he imported and exported pianos. It's still there today. And when I closed the gallery down, he asked me what I was going to do with it. The building was quite large. And at that time, I painted massive paintings, like 20 foot long by 9 feet high, some of them. And I told him I was going to paint. No idea really how I was going to earn a living. Never bothered about such things in them days. But he said to me, why don't you open a piano shop? And I said, I don't know anything about pianos. He said, you don't need to. He said, I'll fill it with pianos, and we'll get Frank from Boston Spa to come and tune them, and you can paint upstairs. I used to have a room upstairs where I painted, and we used to rehearse when we were in the band. And when somebody comes into the shop, sell them a piano. That's all I have to do. So I said, okay, all right, we'll do it. So we did. Well, Frank, he used to come one day a week, and he used to spend all day in the shop, and he would, I would be upstairs painting or working on a song or something, and Frank would be downstairs working on the pianos, and he used to complain about these pianos to me. I said, why, what's wrong with them? He said, well, they need repairs, they need all sorts doing to them. And I said, well, isn't that what you come to do? He says, I can fix them, yeah, but it'll cost you a fortune. I'll be all day doing one piano. So he said, you should be doing this. You, he said, should be doing this yourself. And he said, you need to send off to London, to this place, for these tools, special tools, and a book, which I sent off for. And I wasn't interested in pianos, really. I was interested in art. Anyway, I did the repairs on the actions in the pianos, the keyboards and various bits and pieces. But then Frank wasn't satisfied with that. And he says, all these pianos need regulating. That means setting up. Believe it or not, when a piano's made, it conforms to a mathematical formula. A lot of mathematics in pianos. And they need to be set up. Everything has to move a certain distance and something else takes over and that moves a certain distance. There's a lot to it. He says, these pianos need setting up. You need to do that. He says, so that when I come, all I have to do is tune them. So, sent off for another book and some more tools and learned how to set them up. I thought I knew how to set them up, but it took 10 years for me to learn how to set a piano up and tune them. But anyway, I set them up according to this book initially, but eventually I had my own way of doing it. But not content with that, Frank come back at me and he says, all these pianos are low in pitch. They need raising in pitch so that when I come and tune them, all I have to do is tune them to pitch and not have to chip them up. You should do that. You should chip them up. And he said, you need to send off for this electronic thing, which I did. And he showed me how to use this to raise the pitch. It's a particular way of raising the pitch on a piano. And quite often you can't. Not get them all. You won't get them all the way because the strings will snap on these old pianos. They just won't take the tension. But anyway, you get them as high as you can. So I did that. But he won't contact with that one, Frank. And he'd come and he'd say, get on to me. And he'd say, come here. Now listen. And he'd play a C and an F. And he'd say, now listen, that's got a beat in it. It's going wow, 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 wow. Can you hear it? No. Listen. It's going wow, wow, wow. I can hear someone going wow, 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 wow. He said, ignore that. We'll come to that later. The beat you want to listen for is wow. And yes, I can hear it. He said, right. That beat should be slightly sharp of the note at that speed. And he went through from C to G. G to A? I can't remember how you do it now. He went through it all. And he taught me the speeds of all the beats, of all these seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths. He taught me all the speeds of all the beats and how they get slower, progressively slower going down to the bass and progressively faster going up to the top. All this that I've just explained to you took place over the period of about 2 or 3 years, I think. And eventually Frank came to tune a piano in the shop and he says, you don't need me anymore. You can tune. And I said, what? You mean I could go out there and tune a piano? He says, yeah. And I remember the very first piano I tuned were at Bradford Grammar School. Bradford Grammar School. And I asked Frank if he'd come and check it after I'd done it, which he did. And he says it were all right. So off I went. Off I was. And that's how I became a piano tuner, not by going to university, but by learning from Frank like that. So, well, the shop, it was almost like a spider's web. And I knew nothing about pianos when I opened it, but it pulled in Frank, and Frank taught me, and it was like I'd served an apprenticeship without even knowing it. A bit different from nowadays, I think, but maybe there are people, maybe you know, or you've experienced a way of learning to do something. To call it empiricism, learning through experience rather than learning by theory. Okay, see you later.